You are outside.
Safer in here. Do you know what happened yesterday? One of the women had her head smashed in a fight. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. At least out there I've got a chance. I'll die if you leave me in here.
You may die if I get you out. I know she thinks I'm hard, but I can't and I won't let the police use her in this way. Now, am I wrong, Mrs. Jackson? Would you let a child of yours be set up as bait in a police trap?
Well, I think...
I mean, I've heard this is the way they work, but you don't believe it somehow. It's too fantastic. It's bizarre, and it's wrong.
I think you're right.
What?
I agree with you. I don't think Tracy should be exposed to that danger. Now, I know it's a poor alternative, but she'd be much safer in here. Believe it or not, we are here to help them.
Thanks. It helps to talk about it with someone. I must be moving. Bye.
Goodbye.
Lizzie. Who is it? It's me, Linda.
How you going, love?
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Look, I just feel awful about you taking the blame for what happened. Let me go and talk to Mrs. Davidson.
I couldn't let you do that. You saved me life. She would have throttled me.
But this could ruin your chances of getting out.
Look, you got to think of young Danny. He needs his mum now. The only family I got are away in America, and I mightn't see them again for years.
But it just doesn't seem fair.
Of course it is. Look, if I could have got my hands on that jug, I would have done the job myself. Anyway, she isn't dead, so it's not so bad. The worst that can happen is that I'll get a bit of extra time. And if the VJ believes me story, I might get off scot-free.
All right, Jones, come on. You better get those meals for solitary.
Look after yourself, Lizzie.
All right, Birdsworth, you can go to lunch now.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. You got any word about Kay White?
Well, last we heard, she was still unconscious.
She's going to be all right, isn't she?
I don't know, Lizzie. I just don't know.
Hi. Gosh, I didn't think I'd see you again. What's happened?
It's my father. He refuses to pay the bail. He thinks I'll be safer in here.
Oh, well, honey, he'll probably change his mind once he's had time to think it over.
No, he won't. Not unless I tell the police what I know.
I see. So we're back to square one, eh? Hey, I didn't know you were married.
What?
Well, you're wearing a wedding ring.
Oh, no, that's my mother's wedding ring. She gave it to me the night she died. She gave it to me. She said, if you're ever in any trouble, put on my ring and I'll be with you. It's a wonder it's not worn through by now. I wish you were here.
I know what. I think, girl, you need some food in your stomach. How about lunch?
I'm not hungry.
Come on, I'm paying.
All right, but I probably won't eat a thing.
Oh, but my dear, you'll have to. I have ordered a bottle of white. I have ordered a bottle of red. I have ordered a table by the window. And I have ordered pinks over the
Judy, when we were talking before lunch, do you remember me wearing my mother's wedding ring?
Sure, why?
Well, do you know what I did with it?
Didn't you wear it to lunch?
No, I'm sure I took it off and put it on the bed.
That's right, yeah, I remember you doing that. Yeah.
Well, it's gone.
Oh, honey, it's just probably fallen on the floor, got mixed up in the bedclothes.
No, I've searched the whole room. It's not there. Someone's stolen it.
Are you sure? Look, maybe you took it off when you were washing your hands.
No, I distinctly remember now. She did take it off and lay it on the bed before we went to lunch.
It was when I got back I realized it was missing.
Yeah, well, if I find out who took this ring, there's going to be hell to pay. You can bet on that.
Well, who'd buy the pension a worthless old ring like that anyway? It wasn't worth much. Wasn't even very nice.
How would you know?
Well, I saw you with it a couple of times. He used to fiddle with it when he got nervous, which was just about all the time.
Doreen, it's not how much it costs, you know. It's the sentimental value of it.
It was the only thing I had that belonged to my mother. It's my good luck charm.
Well, you're better off without it, aren't you? Because it didn't do you much good. Mr. Fletcher? I know I shouldn't have been talking to Lizzie before, but I'm real worried about her. What do you think they'll do to her?
Well, that's up to the VJ.
Well, isn't there anything I can do to help?
Jones, look, I know she's a friend of yours. But for your own sake, keep well out of it.
But I was thinking if I could just
Listen,
talk to the...
your case is coming up before the parole board tomorrow. Don't jeopardise it. You keep well away from anything that'll draw attention to yourself.
But I could be the only one who could help Lizzie.
Just think of Danny. He's done nothing but talk about you getting out of here. He's even got me going through the papers trying to find you a decent place to live. No, you mustn't take any risk that'll end up disappointing him.
I've decided I'm not going to pay the bail.
I see. Why?
Because I refuse to allow you to make my daughter into a target for a bunch of drug-pushing hoodlums.
Mr. Morris, she'll be perfectly safe. We'll have her under surveillance 24 hours a day.
How many decoys have you told that to before that have finished up in the morgue?
I can assure you...
No, you can't. How dare you put my daughter's life on the line? I won't let you use her.
She didn't seem to mind when her so-called bloody friends used her. Now, Mr. Morris, we gave your daughter every opportunity to cooperate with the police of her own free will.
Oh, yes, I heard. Coercing a prison officer to put pressure on her. And look what happened. Where was your 24-hour protection then?
We are dealing with a desperate bunch of criminals, Mr. Morris. If we're going to catch those bloody villains, our methods have to be desperate. Your daughter refuses to name them. What else can we do, huh? Now, we're not dealing with kids here, kids selling each other grass. We're dealing with a highly organised drug syndicate trying to push $500,000 worth of heroin. Now, Mr. Morris, you've travelled in the East. You must have seen what heroin can do to people. Now, in the short term, sure, happy time. But in the not-so-long term, it is a deliberate, slow, torturous death. Murder. Now, do you want your daughter mixed up with that business? That is the murder business.
Didn't know she was carrying this stuff. If only she didn't have this misguided sense of loyalty.
It'll go well with your daughter at the trial if she cooperates with us, you know that. And don't think for a minute she's safe out at the prison, because we've already got reason to believe that they've got one of the gang in there to keep an eye on her.
All right. I'll arrange bail.
Thank you.
Doreen, just a minute. I want to talk to you.
What do you want?
Did you take my ring?
Well, what do I want with your rotten old wedding ring?
Like you said, it wasn't worth much, but it had special value to me.
Well, I haven't got it.
All the other women are treating me all right now, except you. Why? What have I ever done to you?
You wouldn't know, would you? It's because all you ever think about is yourself. You reckon you're the only one in here with problems? You go whinging and snivelling around and everybody feels sorry for the poor little rich girl. Well, I got problems too, you know, and none of my friends are interested because they're too busy rushing around after you trying to cheer you up. It's your own stupid fault you're in here, nobody else's. Yes, I took your ring. Here it is. Here, go on. Rush back and tell everybody that I stole it from you to hurt you so they'll hate me even more. Well, I hope it is lucky. I hope that you're lucky enough to get out of here and never come back.
What is going on?
Go on, tell her.
I accused Doreen of stealing my ring, but I was wrong. She found it, she was just trying to give it back to me. I'm sorry, Doreen.
Oh, hello, Mr. Morris.
Mrs. Jackson, I've got a release order here for Tracy.
Oh,
Yes, I'm sorry.
there's nothing to be sorry about. Or at least I hope not.
Yes, well, the police have promised me a 24-hour surveillance, but I'm still not too thrilled about it.
Oh, I can imagine.
If only I could persuade her to identify these people before it's too late. The police say it would act in her favor at a trial.
I'm sure it would.
Look, I don't suppose you'd like to come to dinner with Tracy and me tonight?
Dinner? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, apart from it being nice to have your company and everything, I thought you might be able to throw some fear into her about some of the things that go on in here, so she'd realize the seriousness of her position.
Well, I think she knows what to expect already. But apart from that, regulations don't allow prison officers to associate with prisoners on the outside. If it had been under any other circumstances, I'd love to have come.
Well, then maybe you and I could...
I better go and get Tracy. She'll be very excited.
It feels so good to be out of that place.
Thank you, Daddy.
It's wonderful to have you out, but remember, it might only be on a temporary basis.
All right, let's not think about it now.